Alright, hey guys, welcome to Redline. Hasio here, or just call me Has. Or some people still call me Sahel, I guess. Anyways, so I think we're finally going to start the series. So this here was submitted by John Minner by email. And it's a sketch of a dragon. So already just by looking at it, sorry, the arms and legs are cut off by that title. But, yeah, the basic anatomy is pretty good. We got the head shape very well defined. And the neck supports the head's weight. Next, we got the chest circle, very clearly defined by the shape in the drawing. And then a hip area, which is also well defined by where the leg comes in. So overall, pretty good structure. Although there are some issues that I'd like to point out with the legs, arms, and wings. So first off, I think that the shoulder looks a little bit too far down. So let's pull up an image of a tiger so that we can compare these two, since I think the dragon's anatomy in Wings of Fire is comparable to that of a big cat's. So let's start with that. You see the arm starts where the neck ends and just kind of follows that pattern. Same with the legs. They start right where the hip is and they come out thick and they get thinner. So I think with this sketch here, one thing you could do is perhaps round off the shoulder a little bit more, give it a little bit more definition, move it up to where the wing is. It can still curve around like that, but give it some build. It can still round down the elbow and around the same way. Now, same thing with the legs. It looks a little bit too thin, as the beginning part is thinner than the knee. So let's fix that. Let's make it thicker at the front and gets thinner as it goes down. That way it just looks a little more natural. And it could support the weight better. Otherwise, it's pretty good. So now that we've got the arms and legs fixed up, let's get onto the wings. At first glance, the structure in the wings is very nice. Looks like a finger, well, fingers, looks like a hand, and it's a little bit crooked, but that's fine. The main concern is the size and how thin it is. So let's look at the size of the hawk's body in comparison to the wings. The wings are easily 1.5 times the size of the hawk's body. So in consideration with that, let's make sure that the wings can support the dragon's weight better by making them a little bit bigger and, I don't know, a little thicker so they can have a little more muscle mass to support the dragon's weight. So I'll use a darker color so you guys can see. Let's start by sketching it out. Maybe give it kind of the same build as the arms and legs. Thicker at the origin and thinning out as it goes. Now, I know it's kind of hard to have the wings not be huge when they're on a page like that. It's hard to crunch it onto a page, but it's okay to let some of it spill off. So let's say we want the wings to be about that big, and it would work. Otherwise, everything else about them looks fine. This piece is good. If I had anything to suggest, I'd suggest that maybe you can start adding details now, like scales, muscle lines, those kind of things. It's a good sketch, and I think it's ready for some nice shading or detail. Here is a kitten dog, original species, or just species in general, submitted by CYBERTIO on Gmail. So as you can see, it's just a sketch, so we have all the circles defined. The head circle, the chest circle is a little bit small, but I do think that could have been a shoulder circle. So I mean, the chest does look big enough anyways. So let's just say the chest circle was around that. And the back area is defined over here with the waist over there. So overall, composition is pretty good. The anatomy, I see the style here you're going for is a cute style where the head is bigger, so that's totally fine. For the legs, I'd say let's open up the tiger image from earlier. We used another piece. So let's zoom in a little bit so you guys can see that. Alright, so let's have a look again where the shoulder starts, right where the neck ends. So instead of this area over here being the shoulder, I suggest moving that up over here maybe. So that, here, let me bring it up a darker color. You have something starting up over there. Let's just, yeah. So do you see that? The red bit over there? That way it exposes a little bit more of the chest as well. Additionally, the hind legs seem bent a little bit too early. With the tigers, it passes through the body before it even starts to bend. It isn't that rounded, it's just kind of like a knee. So same thing there. Let's have it go down to the body first, and then bend over a little bit, but not super roundedly. And we can also see on the tiger that it just kind of follows its own shape like a snake almost, just getting thinner towards the end. Let's also do that, so thicker on top. This part is fur, so it could be thicker if it's a very poofy animal. Let's say this is fur, we can just do that. Sorry, my fur drawing skills with the trackpad aren't totally amazing. And yeah. So the only issue with the hind legs appears to be the overly rounded thigh-knee area, which appears a little bit too joint. But otherwise, just find that a little bit, and everything else looks great. It's a very cute species. This was submitted by FUZZYCHAIN on YouTube, and I believe they're an animator, so animation styles tend to be more simplified, but that makes them easier to animate and they come out much more smoothly. So over here we can already see a very apparent style coming along, with the circular heads and the very simplified eyes and mouth and glasses. No anatomy issues that I see of currently. It's a very nice style actually, streamlined. I think, let's use green for this image so that it doesn't get horribly messed up with the red. What would this be called? Lime line? Green line? That sounds like a train. Anyways, so you've got the anatomy down, you've got the shoulders, chest, and it's coming up nicely. I think you have a little bit of detail here with these creases in the hoodie, which are nice and maybe easy to animate. But I think you could probably adding a little bit more to the sleeves. Overall, it's good anatomy, doesn't need any fixing, but the hair, if you wanted to, you could probably add a little more definition in there. What else? Like sleeves. Sometimes sleeves have little wrinkles in them around like that. You could try to add those in if you didn't mind animating all of those, but sometimes they also have some around there, where the sleeve connects to the center, the torso of the jacket. But otherwise, it's nicely done. The color choice is nice, and I'm sure your mom probably really liked this. This drawing was submitted by Emily Jablon on Gmail of this dog. So already, just by looking at it, you can see a lot of thought was put into the details of the fur, of the collar over here, how it grabs onto the neck like that, and the overall composition. So I don't really have much to say other than it looks really cool. The shading up here by the top of the head, despite the fact that it's a little bit messy, that actually helps bring it out more because, you know, when you have a picture of a dog, the fur isn't like a solid color, there's going to be some lines in there. So it's very nicely done. The way the fur over here circulates the head. There's definitely been some study in realism happening over there. Probably I should do more. And the accentuations in the collar help bring out the tension a little bit, so it's just overall a very good piece. Now, you did mention that you were aware of some errors in the sketch itself, and I have a tip for helping you catch more of them. I don't know, if you probably already know this one, but if you flip it horizontally, if it looks a little weird to you, you gotta know where to fix. So by flipping it horizontally, you can see that this part of the mouth here is a little bit tilted. I think maybe it could be slightly more downwards, I guess? I don't know dogs that well, so I might be wrong on this one. But you might be able to flip that one a little bit. What else? So just besides that, everything else still looks fine. Now flip it upside down, and let's see if there's anything that looks funny. So I recommend working on pieces upside down, because then your brain's less inclined to think, oh, this is a dog. You're just more inclined to think, okay, I gotta shade this section of it so it looks proportional. I think it still looks pretty good upside down. This piece over here with the mouth is a little bit more apparent. But otherwise, the detail and the composition and anatomy are all very nicely done. It's a good sketch. Very cute dog too. So yeah, thanks for watching Redline, and hopefully I'll be able to tackle more submissions in coming episodes. See ya! Thanks for watching. If you want to have a chance to have your drawing submitted in this show, I guess? Is it a show? I don't know. Then just send an email to sahelsandwing@gmail.com, all lowercase. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Yeah, have a nice day. I don't really know what to say here.